Hi everyone, thank you for joining today's webinar. My name is Sonia Siddiqui and joining us today is Khadija Qureshi. Hi Khadija.
Hello.
So we're really happy to have Khadija on. This is a very popular webinar and we're very glad that Khadija was able to come on and talk to us about it. And we're actually excited because she'll be coming back again next month. So she'll tell you more about that. Um, I just want to make sure that everyone is connected. Please note that you are all in listen only mode, so we will not be able to hear you, but Khadija will take the time to answer your questions towards the end of her presentation. For that, please type your questions into the Q&A tab and we will take them up. For best results, please use a laptop or a desktop computer using Google Chrome as your browser. If you are using mobile devices such as tablets or cell phones, I suggest downloading the Zoom app for easy access. And just to tell you a little bit about ACCES, we've been around for over 30 years helping job seekers such as yourselves. Just in the past year alone, we were able to serve 34,000 job seekers. And we work with over 2,200 employers, different organizations, institutions as well. We've got 30 tailored programs, which include our sector-specific bridging programs as well. We've got 7 locations in the GTA right now, serving everyone with our online location. And all of our programs are running just like they would normally. It's just everything is being run online. We are all working 9 to 5, business as usual. The only difference is it's all online right now. So I'm going to hand it over to Khadija she can start sharing her screen.
Sure. Thank you for having me, Sonia. I'll start sharing my presentation. I am so excited to be here and sharing and empowering a lot of pre-arrival immigrants on how to use LinkedIn intentionally. That's the primary part. We all need to be intentional based on our limited energy and resources that we have. So again, the time is definitely a resource. Now, although we are all at home, but there are so much of real-time emerging home needs that that kind of consumes. So we are again struggling with time to kind of juggle between multiple hats, even if we are at home. So that's the whole idea of me empowering newcomers to Canada, pre-arrival immigrants, that be very intentional with whatever you do, with your settlement process, with your job search strategy, and definitely one big chunk of your job search strategy is LinkedIn. Why? I will tell you the importance of LinkedIn in Canadian market just in a while. So basically today is all about LinkedIn profile optimization. My name is Khadija. I'll introduce myself. This is a brief introduction. My story is very briefly, I'll explain it to you, that I am basically a social media consultant and online trainer who helps small businesses, corporate and individual professionals to shine online with their personal and corporate brand, basically. I'm a winner of Marilyn Booth Award as well, where I used LinkedIn effectively for a social good. And I run my own company as well. I've explained you what I do. I'm a social media consultant, and I have been on LinkedIn. I really resonate with LinkedIn as a platform. It has its own unique feel of community itself, and I'll explain all of that to you in coming slides. And I've been on this platform very actively since 2017, so I know the ins and outs of how LinkedIn world works, how the LinkedIn community works. And also I have walked through your path. I have been a newcomer to Canada in 2016. I came to Canada in 2016, and so far so good. I have settled well, and I am all over different social media if you want to connect with me later on. So basically, what is today? What are the learning outcomes of today's presentation? So basically, I'll be telling you about again, this LinkedIn is a social media platform. It's like a cookie cutter platform, and it has its own features which we need to play around to come in front of right audiences and to come in front of right opportunities, basically to be visible. So I'll be sharing with you what are those hidden features and hidden gems which you can work and become friends with to come in front of right people when they're searching for them. Plus, I'll be sharing some of the best practices with you on how to frame your LinkedIn profile to exhibit your professional expertise. I'll be sharing few examples of LinkedIn profile that you can take inspiration from. And last but not the least, what are the do's and don'ts of LinkedIn profile world? Just like any social media platform, this platform also has its own etiquettes, do's and don'ts. And if you don't follow them, unconsciously and unintentionally, you might be ignored or you might be rejected. So I want you to be mindful of that. And that's all in today's presentation. So before I go into the real meat, I want you to think about something. I want you to think about, I want you to kind of reframe your mindset that whenever you come in new surroundings or any new neighborhood or any new community, there you have to kind of unlearn few old things and learn new things of that new surrounding so that you can grow and evolve in that community. So just like that, you are coming to Canada and then you are exploring LinkedIn. So these are two new places that you need to adapt basically to completely immerse and embrace. So be ready to unlearn few things that you have been doing in past and be ready to learn new things. And it's such a beautiful phenomena when you grow in that mindset that you will grow with new learnings that comes your way. So be ready to be resilient, be friends and with the fear of unknown. As newcomers to Canada, we always have a fear that we are coming to a completely new place. So what is waiting for us? Believe you me, I have walked through the same path. I have the same fears, but this is an amazing place. There are good opportunities. Specifically, you must be thinking right now during COVID-19 that a lot of uncertainty is there in the job market. Jobs have started picking up, and how you frame yourself in your job strategy, how unique you stand out, how intentional you are in projecting yourself as a professional brand, in connecting with the right people, and in carrying out your relationship in a very organic way, that will make you stand out. So get ready to unlearn and learn new things. So let's move into the new learning zone if you are a newbie in LinkedIn. So as I said, there are certain don'ts. Now, the professional on LinkedIn, I'm sharing a screenshot over here of Nidhi Nagori. She basically posted for a job posting on LinkedIn. And there has been a trend on LinkedIn that people see the job post and they started writing below interested. Now here in Canada, if they have given any specific instructions, that usually an employer, if he is posting certain post, they give specific instructions. And she clearly is pointing out that LinkedIn readers are not reading her post. She is saying that she posted about it and it seems people are not reading it because she clearly mentioned an email address on her previous post that they need to apply, and basically she gave a call to action. So she's just mentioning in this post that why readers or applicants are not reading the post completely. So be careful, Canadian professionals, when they are posting about something, read it very, very carefully, because you don't want to come out as someone who giving an impression, because Nidhi might be a decision maker of that post that she did. So make sure that you are paying attention to details, because if you don't, it is giving an impression to the person, to the author, that you don't have attention to detail, that, and that can be a very important soft skill. Another post I'm sharing again by another career coach, and she's talking about how importance of personalized communication on LinkedIn. Again, Canadian professionals really will feel connected to you if you do your due diligence in genuinely trying to know them. And that all comes out when you do customized communication around some commonality. So here Shelley is clearly saying that there are some examples of connection request notes that I have been saving up to share, and she's clearly telling that this is now not how you introduce yourself. Now, each example that she's sharing is all about asking. One is asking for LinkedIn endorsement, another is asking, I'm reaching out to offer help. It's a salesy message. I have many numbers that you can benefit from. Again, it is a salesy and commercial message. There is a job on LinkedIn. Can you introduce me to the hiring manager? This is a big, big no. So in each of examples, don't examples of connection request, you can clearly see she's mentioning that she's not going to connect with any of them. Yes, you need to send out customized communication, but please don't, when you are, there is a first interaction, please don't ask for anything. And these are all examples of asking. So what is on LinkedIn is important. It's all about showing genuine interest by doing your due diligence. Please don't, there is a need to have a customized value driven interaction, and don't ask for anything at the first go. So I just told you two examples from a third party, third authors, not me, telling you that unintentionally as users, when we are not practicing the rule of the land, like they say, in Rome be a Roman. If you're not if you are not presenting yourself according to the rule of the land, you will be unheard. And I saw this beautiful slide. The inability to hear someone else's pain is often why you're unheard. So right now you heard the pain and challenges of Nidhi and Shelly. They both clearly told that you need to have highly customized communication. You need to come out as a person who is genuinely interested in building relationship with the other people that you're interacting with. You genuinely need to come out as a genuine person rather than as a person who is there for an ask. And when you go as newcomers to Canada, as pre-arrival immigrants on LinkedIn, our immediate ask is, we need a job. So I will be sharing a very solid rock-on plan on how you can develop relationships with key people in a very, very organic way, and then go for a value ask. It's important what you ask at what time of relationship building. So please try to develop your ability to hear your audiences. And I've told you their pain points. They want genuine relationship building. They want customized communication. They want to see that you're genuinely interested in building relationships. Then you will be heard. Otherwise, as Shelly said, you will be unheard. She's not connecting with you. And empathy is the medicines to world's need now. So I'm putting this in your context. Please bring empathy in your LinkedIn strategy. Empathize with yourself, with other people, what they want. And then definitely when you build up a relationship, you're known, liked, and trusted, they will be willing to give back to you. But till you reach to that stage of relationship building in an online world, in that online trust, you have to wait a bit. Now, the first step, okay, so the mindset, when you think about LinkedIn, you don't need to be perfect. You need to be authentic. Now in LinkedIn world, just like any social media platform, these are profiles are LinkedIn humans. These are LinkedIn Canadian professionals who are, after all, human. So, and one of the best practices on LinkedIn has been that if you are real you in a professional setting, I'm not asking you to disclose your casualness on a professional platform. I'll be talking about this, about the mindset, LinkedIn mindset, but idea is that you need to reflect your real you in a professional setting. If you have any challenges in a professional setting, you can talk about it. If there is any vulnerability, if you're facing in current times, like mental health, while taking care of some work projects, you can all go in and talk about that on LinkedIn. But you need to reflect real you with emotions, with a person with personal passions, professional passions. You can talk about personal passions and weave it in with your professionals. But ideas on LinkedIn, you need to present real you so that the other LinkedIn human can resonate with you. And that can be your icebreaker for your relationship building with that ideal targeted person. Then you are here on LinkedIn, not for likes. You need to be intentional. You are here for an ask. Later on in the relationship building, but you are here to build connections, targeted connections in a very, very organic and genuine way. I've clearly showed you in the starting slide that nobody, like Canadian professionals don't like being knocked on the door as strangers and somebody asking them something as simple as, can you please review my resume, can you please review my LinkedIn profile, can you please give me introduction, can you please just endorse me. You are a stranger to them. Why would they do any of, even as a small ask, can we get on a 10-minute virtual coffee chat? It's a big no. Nobody will give that important piece of their lifetime, which they otherwise would have spent with their family or doing some other professional goal. Why should they take that big chunk of that time and give that time to you? Even for that, for you, it is a small ask, but for them, it can be a very big thing. So here, come with a mindset on, come on LinkedIn with a mindset of building connections in true, genuine relationship building style. You are not here to impress. Definitely you're not here not to impress. As intentional LinkedIn profilers, you are here to make an impact. First, here to make an impact, that you are a professional, trusted authority in whatever space you are. As a social media consultant or as a business analyst, you are here to make an impact, to create an impact with your audience, with your community, that you are a trusted business analyst or your trusted go-to authority in whatever space you want to create an online professional personal brand. And definitely you are here to create an impact for your audiences. You're here to help them solve their pain points. And right now, what is your goal? To use LinkedIn to ultimately convince the other company, that your ideal company, your ideal job title, that you are here to serve them, to solve their pain points, to solve their challenges in the best possible way, in a unique way that you can only bring to the table. So that is here, if all you are here on LinkedIn, to create a professional impact, to solve pain points of your ideal company, of your ideal job title. So I was talking about the mindset first, so that you know where, because that's a starting point. Because when you have the right mindset, your tactical measures will all fall into places. Now, what is the tactical measure? This is basically my signature roadmap to rock on LinkedIn. First step is definitely you need to have a very, very clean, neat, and optimized LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn profile is like your LinkedIn home. And those of you who are newbies on LinkedIn and who have never explored LinkedIn, just like on Facebook and on Instagram or any other social media, you have your own personal profile. Similarly, like that on LinkedIn, you need to have your own LinkedIn profile where you put up your abouts, where you put up your credentials, where you talk about what are your professional next goals, all of that. So that is your LinkedIn home. That is where you will be hosting your party, where you will be hosting the people that you're inviting. So you need to have a very, very clean LinkedIn home. It needs to be painted. It needs to have the right fixtures. It needs to have right furniture. And that all is possible when you optimize all sections of LinkedIn profile. As I said, it's a cookie cutter social media website. You need to optimize your different sections. Okay, just like we are all at home and I have a kid and it's one of a normal trends, I just need to look into what he is saying. So just give me a moment. Okay, so sorry about that, but that's a new normal, right? Kids are at home. But again, let me go back. So LinkedIn profile is your home. You need to optimize it, and I will tell you how you can optimize it, because you need to optimize the feature to come in front of right people. But what's important is that please take your time to have a thoughtful LinkedIn profile. It has several sections that you need to beef up, and it needs to be well thought out. It's not a one-day job. Believe me, it's not a one-day job. You need a whole process. I'll be defining that to you. The second stage is, when your home is optimized, it is speaking of your experiences, skills, and credentials that you can be perceived as a trusted authorities. Now, important thing is, you need to convince your visitor that you can walk the talk. So yes, you have uploaded the credentials, experiences, but still he might have doubt that is it a fake profile kind of a thing. You need to still convince him, because one-on-one has never happened. How you can do that? You can start creating content. By content, I mean putting up posts, putting up articles. which speaks of micro contents of the space that you want to be considered expert in. So you need to research about the targeted company, you need to do keyword research, you need to be clear with what your goals are, in which space you want to be considered trusted authority, and then go granular into what are different topics that you can talk about. And definitely you can plan all of that out in form of content calendar. All of this is a part of intentional content creation. The third stage is now LinkedIn profile and intentional content creation can happen simultaneously within a month. And then you should be ready to host the party. Now you have a good LinkedIn home, it speaks of your past credentials. LinkedIn content, which speaks, yes, current content, that yes, this girl or a boy knows the intricacies of this space. Now you're ready to host the party. Now your house is ready, furnitures are ready, paintings are ready. Now you can welcome the guests, and that's where you will start networking. That's the third stage. You will grow and nurture your network intentionally with the targeted profiles. Networking on LinkedIn can be, you can be an aimless wanderer on LinkedIn. There are a lot of Canadian professionals who are creating content, and you will feel so much like we go for shopping and you go for window shopping and impulsively you buy shopping. So you can be very, very good, impulsive, aimless wanderer on LinkedIn. But what I said, that you have limited time, you have a goal that you want a first job in whatever space. So try to network with the people who can benefit you reach that goal. So be very intentional with people who you network with, because there's a lot of activities that you need to do to come out as organic and genuine. You need to have a LinkedIn goal. You need to identify target LinkedIn profiles, like 5 or 10 LinkedIn profilers that you want to connect with, and build on that relationship of layering, that they know you, they like you, they trust you. And it happens in layer. It doesn't happen over like 1 or 2 days. It takes weeks, and it takes a little 20 to 30 interactions for them to at least start knowing you by name. You need to research about their interests. You need to customize the communication. You need to nurture relationship in certain ways. Now, I'm not talking about, this is basically a roadmap that you need to take on LinkedIn. This roadmap would really help you in manage expectations, because of what I'm mentoring a lot of newcomers, and I feel what they are doing all these 3 steps on the first day. Of course you will get overwhelmed. Of course your expectations are totally unrealistic. Now when you're doing a LinkedIn profile, you are also getting the eyeballs. You're not ready to host the party. So why I'm sharing this roadmap, so that you manage your expectations for each of the stage and have the outcomes accordingly, so that you don't overwhelm and frustrate yourself, and by the end of 3rd week you say LinkedIn is not working for me. Of course it's not working for you, because you're not following the steps. The expectations are unrealistic, and of course you will become frustrated at the end of the day. So try to follow these steps within the timelines. Like, these are tentative guidelines in terms of timings, but if you have more time, you can do these both steps within a week. You can start networking by the end of the 2nd week. It all depends on how much resource you can put in, but try to follow the steps: LinkedIn profile, intentional content creation, and then LinkedIn networking. Okay, so now I am moving to the real part, which is LinkedIn profile. Okay, LinkedIn mindset is all professional. If you go to Facebook, Instagram, you are putting casual pictures. For example, let's say we talk about donuts. So on Facebook, I can say, I like donuts, watch me eat donuts. Here's a cool picture of my donut. So these are all informal instances. But when you're thinking about donut in LinkedIn in space, you need to make sure that it has some professional goals. Either you are like, professional goals can be around, I hope to operate a donut franchise one day. I'm looking for a job at donut company. I have 3 years of experience in making donut. So anything related to donuts. So these were 2 beautiful slides I got from LinkedIn itself, from their website, socialimpact.linkedin.com, which clearly sets the mindset apart, that what type of mindset and content and expressions you need to bring on LinkedIn. Okay, as we all are pre-arrival immigrants, and just like any new place, Canada has its own communication. It has its own way of how you interact with people. So in Canada, I will not be going too much into Canadian communication, but I wanted to touch base upon it because this is going to be the base of your communication with Canadian professionals. So you need to come out as a Rome in Roman. You need to know basics of LinkedIn Canadian communication. You need to be direct, positive, and respectful. LinkedIn is a profile where positivity, empathy, and respect needs to be there. Otherwise, you will be ignored. Nobody wants to do relationship building with someone who is disrespectful or who come out as a negative person. When I mean say direct, try not to use words like dear sir, dear madam. You can use the first name on LinkedIn communication with a salutation. Like for example, my first name is Khatija. So you can say dear Khatija instead of saying dear madam, because a lot of newcomers approach me and they say dear respected madam. So you don't need to say respected madam. You can use a salutation like dear and the first name. That is the basics. That is one of the best practices. Try to be tactful and diplomatic. Canadians are very nice. You must have heard we say I'm sorry a lot. You try to use the word like please, thank you. So these all are certain basics of Canadian communication, which Canadian professional would expect you in LinkedIn communication. Networking, also one thing, remember LinkedIn effort is like a professional investment, because back in our country, we don't see networking as an investment. Here in Canada, networking is like a professional investment. It means that you need to take this as a mini project, invest time. So similarly, getting on LinkedIn means that you want to connect with the right person and create the right impression. So when you are on LinkedIn, and whatever I tell you today, please consider this as an investment and dedicate time to do that relationship building. Excuse me. Also, you can start watching Canadian content to speak in local language terms in communication, because when I came over here, I learned local phrases, local verbs, which are used in a normal jargon. So though, like I used to go and ask people, you said this thing, what does this mean? So you can start doing this as pre-arrival immigrants by listening to Canadian content. There is so much of Canadian content out there, YouTube. You can start hearing them, and automatically your communication will become attuned to the local languages, terms, and communication. And please do take Canadian communication and workplace culture course with any of the settlement agency. Do approach ACCES if they offer it. It is a deal breaker. It will tell you how to adapt in terms of communication and workplace culture. And it's a drastic change how it is back home and now. Okay, so why LinkedIn? Why LinkedIn? Because this is the right place where you get decision maker. This is the platform which offers feature for you to come in front of right Canadian professionals for relationship building for your first job in Canada, and that you can do all even before landing here. That's the beauty of LinkedIn. It's an online platform. So as few numbers, there are 16 million Canadian professionals on LinkedIn. Only 1% plus is creating content. So if you start creating content right now, you will be an early adapter in your space, and you can connect with right audiences to create that impression. Canadian employers use LinkedIn to find talent. This is like bring this as a fact. I've been talking to, lately I've been talking to recruiters, career coaches, employers, talent acquisition managers, and all have said that they go on LinkedIn and they use LinkedIn to find talent. And once they like shortlist talent through whatever systems they may have, they scan the shortlisted talent profile, post, and engagement activity to shortlist candidates. So even to find the talent to put your foot in the door, you need to have a good LinkedIn presence. And once you are inside the door of that, once you're shortlisted, even for that, LinkedIn presence is important. So your LinkedIn profile, your post, which is your content, and engagement activity, which is your networking, all the 3 steps which I've told you is vetted by the recruiters. So you are creating an impression even before the interview. So this clearly shows LinkedIn is an important space. Now let's go into LinkedIn profile. I want you to think about what are your core values. Core values, like for example, in case of my core values are honesty. I want to be collaborative. I want to interact with people who are highly motivated. And then I want you to think about what are your core focus, USP. USP is basically your unique selling proposition, or basically the services that you are bringing onto the table to provide to your profession, to provide to your ideal job title that you want to land your first job as. So think about this. Once you're very clear, now when I say job, when I say core focus, when I say unique selling proposition, basically I'm talking about you to research the job title. Now back in our countries, we might be jacks of all trade. Like I had a job title by name of marketing coordinator, and I was doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like 6 things. But here, in marketing, you have that one thing that I was doing is one job title itself. So there are, you have expert job titles for each of one thing that I was doing. So I want you to do research on the job specific titles. Like for example, back home, if you are doing sales, here it might be called business development. So I want you to think about what specific job title industry you are targeting, and then do a little bit of keyword research for those job titles. Now, what is keywords? Keywords are basically technical or hard skills or soft people skills, and that you can easily do by scanning 2 or 3 jobs description of that ideal job title that you are targeting. So once you have done that keyword research, you would clearly know that these are 3 or 4 technical skills I want to highlight on LinkedIn, and these are 3 or 4 soft skills which I want to highlight as an online professional brand. So I've already shared you my example. My core focus in USP in digital marketing world is social media content creation, and that too organic, non-paid, and LinkedIn content creation and networking. So these are my clear focus. So let's go into the features which will bring you, which will optimize you. Okay. 3 important real estates are important when somebody is coming and landing onto your profile is basically the profile picture. Profile picture photo gives you visibility 21 more times in LinkedIn search. If a recruiter is searching for someone based on certain keywords, it will give you 21 more time visibility. And make sure that your picture setting is public. It should not be private or only viewable to your friends. It needs to be public. Otherwise, you will appear like this as a no person icon. Make sure that you have a professional background with a confident professional, a non-busy background, professional like professional attire, basically professional setting. Remember how you want your visitor to perceive you as, because we are all building an online LinkedIn brand for the person coming onto your profile. Background header plays an important role. Don't have just a neutral background header. You can customize it on beginner tools like Canva and Trello. You can Google Canva and Trello. These are beginner designer apps where you can drag and drop to design a background like this, which Dr. Natalia has. Clearly, she's telling the person who is coming onto a profile, even before scrolling down onto her text, that what does she do, how does she do it, and what is her call to action. So you can do all of that. So you can use this real estate, I call this a real estate, to explain your call to action, logos for companies, and images that you can show to bring validation. As newcomer to Canada, a bonus tip, please don't put local origin countries logos over here. But if you have worked into any universal brand which has presence here in North America, probably you can put that up. Now your LinkedIn overhauling is all with the mindset of impressing Canadian professionals. So keep that as a basis of whatever you do. Make sure in the name field, you only have your name, because a lot of people put a lot of informations like emails, symbols, and special characters. Again, as I said, it's a cookie cutter social media website, and you need to optimize each feature to come in front of the right in the search. You need to be friends with LinkedIn algorithm. So have simple, so LinkedIn itself says have simple first name and the last name. You can add suffixes like PhD in the last name because they don't have a special field for suffixes. So they advise that if you want to put a suffix, you can put that. Basically, your idea is to make it easier for the person to find you easily. So if you're very known with any maiden name, any nicknames, because a lot of people I interact with, they have nicknames and they have a brand presence in that nickname. So you can use that. So these are some of the advices given by LinkedIn themselves. Okay, after your background cover, your first name, LinkedIn has given good features for job seekers and freelancers. So what you can do in your settings, in your career interests, you can go and enable open to new opportunities, and you can click onto its drop down fields and select whatever job titles you have researched for, and you can control who can see that. Only recruiters can see that. You can make it public viewing, whatever control it, it's all in your hand. And during this time, a lot of newcomers I interact with, they do a lot of freelancing till they get their first job here in Canada. So you can enable your providing services, your enable this feature and write down whatever services you might be providing. So these are two LinkedIn hidden gems which you can use to show people that you're looking for jobs, you are open for assignments, without wasting and using your headline. Because a lot of people write down in the headline over here, I'm looking for jobs, I'm open to new opportunities, seeking new opportunities. Please don't use these 120 characters of your headline to express that you're looking for a job. As a viewer, as an employer who hires someone, if they see this in a headline, I'm being a devil's advocate here and giving you a realistic impression. You are telling the other person that you are desperate. That is giving a desperate impression to the person who is viewing your profile. I want all newcomers to lead with professional awesomeness. I want you to tell the other person how awesome you are in your specific field, what you do and how you do that. I want you to talk about what you bring on the table rather than telling I'm here for a job. Convince them to hire you rather than telling them to hire you. Give them a reason. So use your 120 characters of your headline to talk about what you can offer. Okay, so as I was talking about headline, use this headline. This is 120 characters to include your keywords that I talked about, of how you want to be perceived as. Think about what impression you want to give to the recruiter. So these 120 characters will give that impression. So if you're writing, I'm looking for a job, I'm open to new opportunities, it is not giving a good impression. It is not telling the recruiter why he should hire you, right? Of course, you are coming in his research because of whatever reasons, but this, when he sees this, you can put him off, because you're coming from an aspect of asking, and people don't like strangers to ask them something. Same goes on online. So use these 120 characters to explain what you're bringing on the table. So you can use the job titles, you can use keywords, you can use simple slogans. For example, Carrie Twegg has written, I help people use stories to land and thrive in ideal work. For example, if I'm a social media analyst, you can put up a social media analyst who converts numbers into strategies, or who converts with attention to detail to number behavior, something like that. But make sure that you're weaving in keywords and you are explaining it clearly what you're bringing on the table. So use these 120 characters very thoughtfully. Make sure LinkedIn, you have customized your URL. How you can do that? You can basically, customization of URL means that you can give a direct link to a like, for example, you're sending an email to any recruiter, you can give a direct email website address which will land them directly to your profile, and that you can do by LinkedIn/in/your name. So if I usually give this. So my customized URL is LinkedIn/in/Khatija Qureshi. And you can easily customize that by going into your settings. Okay, and I've already talked about if a recruiter is going, he's writing the keywords in the LinkedIn search bar, and this is how you will appear. So what 3 fields are appearing? It's the picture, it's the name, and it's the headline. So these are the three, and the location, make sure your location is Canada specific. It's not your origin country. Again, my son is here, give me one. Okay, so make sure that these three real assets are used to an optimal level. Okay, so I'm moving forward. Okay, this I've already talked about. Make sure that your settings is Canada, it's not your origin country. Also, the contact us session section is very underutilized. You can add as many websites as you want. It can be your portfolio, it can be your other social media handle that you can drive your audiences to. So try to use this contact us hidden feature very, very intelligently based on whatever professional goals you have. Okay, the next important thing is your summary. Now, what are the best practice of LinkedIn summary is that you need to have, make sure if anybody is landing onto your profile, you have 2,000 words, you have 2,000 characters to fill over here, but only 2 lines will be visible if it's a desktop, and 12 words will be visible. So make sure that that first 2 sentences are convincing the person to click on see more and knowing more. So one of the best framework given by LinkedIn, again, this I have taken framework for socialimpact.linkedin.com. They are saying the first 2 sentences need to clearly explain what you do and how and who you are basically. Another 2 to 3 paragraphs can be around your experiences, top skills and key passions. And last paragraph needs to tell clearly call to action of what is your professional next and what you want the reader to do. Make sure that when you're writing a summary, you are weaving in your personal interest and passions in whatever your professional next is. LinkedIn, as I said, LinkedIn, you need to come out as a human, and that is only possible when you weave in. So summary needs to weave in your personal interest, and which kind of supports your what professional next might be. Okay, over and above, leave white spaces. It needs to be grammatically correct. You can upload media-rich file in the featured us section and make sure you are leaving a call to action, an email or whatever you want person to go to connect with you. Now, this is an example of a LinkedIn good summary. You will have the recording. You can come back to it again and pause it and see what this is about. But clearly, if you've seen the first paragraph there, she's saying, she's Alison there. She is a new grad and she is stepping in the new in the job market. So she is using I like to solve. So please don't use first, always use first form of person because that's the industry best practice. Just say if Alison was writing, Alison Zaya likes to solve problem. Keep it conversational because conversational makes you more human, that you're talking to the human. And people like to be conversational. So she's writing, I like to solve problems. Throughout my career, I have been driven by my intellectual curiosity to find answers. And then she's weaving in with her professional list, which is all about strategic solutions, identifying customer pain points. Then she's talking about few names that she has worked with, probably during internships or co-ops, and her specialty. And the last sentence is about what does she want the reader to do. She wants to bounce off ideas and she's leaving an email address. Basically the raw framework which I just shared with you earlier. Again, this is a good LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn summary that you can again come back to in the recording and read, so that when you are doing it, you know. Okay, featured a section. Featured a section is basically it's a new section which has been offered, and here you can upload media rich files. You can feature your post, like the content that you write. You can feature any post you have written, any article. You can use links, the web links over here, any media rich files which talks of the validations. I'm sorry, my son seems like he has tripped over the stairs. Just give me a moment. I need to section. Yeah, so this featured section allows you to highlight certain post that you have written intentionally, which is talking about specific micro content that you're professionally talking about your space. You can put up, you can feature your articles, long form of content, because post you have only 1300 characters, articles you can write big pieces of content. Links, if there is any website, like for example, you have an online resume, you can put it on you can upload it somewhere and you can use that URL to feature over here. Media rich files, any media rich files of your portfolio, you can upload it directly on LinkedIn. So this featured sections appear just below the summary. So this is a beautiful, because visual speaks louder than words. Use this feature section very, very intelligently. Okay, after basically after summary, you have to scroll down. So below the, I call it below the scroll, if you have created an impression and if they want to validate what they love reading your summary and your headline profile, that's when they will scroll down. And they would want to know your work experiences. Now within work experiences, again, this is a bonus tip. A lot of people, what they do is that they just write the company name. Now how you want to optimize LinkedIn algorithm is that when you are typing in the company name, make sure that if a drop down is coming with the logo, go and select that. Like just the way it is over here, I was writing University of Toronto, but a drop down came with a logo. What does it show? That this company has an active LinkedIn company page. So when you click that, the logo itself appears. So when somebody is coming and landing onto your profile and the logo is displaying, it is subconsciously sending them a validation that this is an authenticated company. Because if the logo is not there and something like no company icon is there, it gives a subconscious signal to mind that it might be fake. So I'm not saying that, but these are the signals, unconscious signals which are sent out. And also LinkedIn algorithm loves if the logos are displayed, because again, it brings them up in high in validation ranking. Make sure that you are careful about this hack. You can add media rich files for each of your experiences in each of the sections. You can explain your experiences. A LinkedIn profile is not your resume. Resume is highly customized to a job title and to a company. LinkedIn profile is basically speaking to 5 or 6 companies that you are ideally targeting to. So you do not need to copy paste your experiences of the summary over here, but you can probably select few where in terms of your key that the research that you have done about the key hard skills and key soft skills, probably you can pick and choose accomplishment statement of what you want to put in each of the experiences. After work experience, you have your education. Again, the same thing. Be careful that you can, if your institutions have LinkedIn company page, try to select the drop down rather than just select the text that you have written. After the company page, you have licenses and certifications. Again, it's again a hack. LinkedIn Learning is basically an amazing world which offers a lot of courses, and right now they're offering a lot of free courses. So if you want to be perceived as social media person, so what you can do, you can go and complete their online course, which is like 3 hours videos, and they will ask you at the end of the course completion, do you want it to be displayed in your LinkedIn profile? Enable that, because what will happen that it will come under the licenses and certification, it will be displayed. And what is it saying to the visitor? That you are a lifelong learner, you are adapting, you are constantly evolving during COVID-19. You are not at home just idle. So this gives an impression that you are a lifelong learner. And this is all free, so you can do that. After the license and certification, you have volunteer experience, you have skills and endorsements, you have recommendations. Recommendations are so important here in Canada. It acts as referrals, online referrals for that recruiter to push him to send you that inquiry or to shortlist you. Basically, if you have colleagues or your bosses in origin country, it is a good time to reach out to them and ask them to give you LinkedIn recommendations. It really makes a difference when a decision maker is coming onto your profile and it is at the verge of giving that DM or inquiry or shortlisting you. Skills and endorsements also help. So probably when you're approaching your bosses or old colleagues, probably you can ask them to endorse and give recommendations, give you endorsements as well. Because these both features helps you creating that professional impression. It gives validations basically. So how you can send recommendation requests is it's at the recommendation area, you can click on ask for recommendation and then you can send it to that LinkedIn profile. Now your boss needs to have a LinkedIn profile, only then he can write a recommendation request. Also, you can do that from the top area where you can go and click on see more, and down there it says request a recommendation. The last thing is what are the do's and don'ts. Basic thing is for LinkedIn profile, you need to be genuine. You need to come out as a LinkedIn person, but in a professional setting. Optimize all section with researched keywords. Try to repeat it smartly because there's a concept of keyword density. More the keywords are repeated in your profile in different section, higher the density of keywords, better chances of you getting picked up by the LinkedIn algorithm. But again, don't force fit it. Don't look like a person who's creating a fooler's impression. Don't be like that. Strategically and smartly place keywords wherever you can. Don't force fit it, because person who visits your profile can clearly visibly see that you wanted just to appear in the search, but when he comes onto your research, you will create a very bad impression. Grow and nurture your network with your targeted audience. Create intentional posts to exhibit expertise. I'm not touching base upon the formula of each of this. Networking has its own steps. Creating content has its own step. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I'll be leaving the titles, and because I create a lot of content over there, so you can follow me to learn about processes of LinkedIn networking and LinkedIn content creation. Please, when you're sending communication, specifically connection request, please highly customize it. Respond promptly. If somebody is sending you an email in Canadian context, it is advisable that you reply back at least within 1 to 2 days. But when you are approaching, give that benefit of doubt to the other person, that he might be busy, or he might he didn't give that benefit of doubt for whatever reason, that he is not. Be compassionate, specifically during current times. Don't take rejection personally. That is one thing we all do, that we take rejection personally. We become frustrated and leave our efforts on LinkedIn. No, that's why I say keep your pipeline filled up. Don't just network with one person. You can network with 4 or 5 people at a time, so that if somebody doesn't respond, you can move on to your second and third or 4 or 5th. Don't be negative on LinkedIn. You need to be positive. If there is a debate going on with difference of opinion, you can do that. You can express your point of view very, very tactfully. In Canadian context, if you have a point of view, do speak up. People love who have a point of view with facts, but do it very respectfully, with room to the other person that he also feel respected. Don't send salesy spammy messages. And last but not the least, please don't underestimate yourself as a newcomer. Don't underestimate your international experience as a discounter. Don't discount that. Don't take no Canadian experience myth that no Canadian experience means what. You, as a newcomer, I don't have experience of work. I didn't had experience of working with Canadian audience, Canadian culture, Canadian consumers, and which is a fact. And that you can do through virtual volunteering. You can build up that because volunteering over here is taken as Canadian experience. So one resource on the side is Volunteer Canada. They're offering good virtual volunteering opportunities. Try to own your strengths. Please try to own your strength, be confident, come on LinkedIn with a growth mindset, and you can lead with professional awesomeness. I had so many newcomers doing that and getting results. Step 2 is, after your good LinkedIn profile, have good LinkedIn content creation, then go for your networking and follow these steps. Make sure that you are following them stepwise so that you manage expectations. And then last but not the least, I'm leaving you with some good take home resources which Sonia will send you in a post event email. Go through each of them. This one is a good resource. I'm leaving with you with good LinkedIn profile examples to take inspiration from. And last but not the least, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. Over here, you can search, all my profiles are public. You can search for first name and last name and reach out to me. So that is it. I'm done. I know I was a little bit overdue, but you can throw in the questions if you have, and if we have time, if Sonia allows it.
Yeah, no, so let's quickly take up some questions, and like you said, they can contact you as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's take some. Okay, so once you've gotten your first job in Canada, should you still be updating your LinkedIn, and how soon should you do it?
Okay, I would suggest as a pre-arrival immigrant, you might be at home right now. So right now, use your LinkedIn for your goal. Your goal is right now for you to create a professional impression in front of Canadian professionals. So by all means, you can do you can start using that right now. So you can start upgrading your summary, your profile around that goal. So you can start doing that now. I hope it answers the question.
Thank you. And if someone's not in Canada yet, they're moving soon, I guess, should they start reaching out to people and started sending their resumes?
I am not going to advise you to send resumes right now. What they can do right now is optimizing their LinkedIn profile, start creating content, and start reaching out to industry people in terms of relationship building. Follow them, send them customized invite, do comment communication on their content. So basically what they are doing, they're utilizing this time to do relationship building. So that they don't come out as a person when they go for an ask for that 10-minute virtual coffee chat. They are willing to give back. So first they need to give value to them for them to give back. So right now I would suggest them to follow the targeted profilers and create relationships, starting of relationship building.
Thank you. And should you put like seeking new opportunities in your headline on LinkedIn?
Can you repeat that?
Should you put the term or the phrase seeking new opportunities?
No, I just shared in one slide. Probably I went through fast. Don't put, it's not recommended by Canadian. It's not liked and it's not recommended. Please don't put ONO, seeking new opportunities, Canadian PR, open to new opportunities, because I just shared in one of the slides that how do you appear? You appear, three things appear when a Canadian recruiter is looking for you. Your I'm trying to go back to that slide. Your picture comes up, your name comes up, and your headline comes up basically. So don't waste that real estate. You can use that 120 characters of your headline to explain how you can help him basically. Because you are competing in that research, and when you have to find things, they don't appear. Basically, use that space to explain what you are bringing on the table. Talk about the key, your expertise, your skills, your experiences in that 120 characters.
Thank you. And is it worth it to get a paid membership on LinkedIn?
Okay. This is a good question. It depends. If my suggestion is that do your LinkedIn profile, clean your LinkedIn profile, that you can do easily with your non-paid. Once you have cleaned your LinkedIn profile, created content, then probably you can go for paid, because paid version gives you certain features, like you have unlimited research that you can do, because with unpaid, you have a certain number of searches that you can do for people. So first with unpaid, clean up your profile and do content creation, then go for paid version. And they offer 1 month of trial version. You can see if you like it, you can continue. If you don't, you can always back out.
Thank you so much. So that's all the time we have for questions. I know we've gone over our time, but everyone is welcome to contact Khatija. Her contact information is online on her slide right now. And we will be sending you a recording. Actually, you can use the same link you used to join today as a recording. You can watch it later, but sometime tomorrow you will get, or sometime later today, you will get the slide deck as well. And I'm just gonna share my screen here to show you what our next one is. So our next webinar is coming up on Monday, and it's called Do's and Don'ts Before and After Landing in Canada. So I'm sure a lot of your questions that you were asking today will be answered during that webinar as well. And as I mentioned, we are taking appointments online as well. If you do want to contact an employment consultant and work with someone, you can call your closest ACCESS location and somebody will be able to start helping you with your job search. And if you are overseas, which I see a lot of you are, you can contact CEC at accessemployment.ca to see how we can start helping you with your job search before you arrive in Canada. And if you like to see what's happening at ACCESS, follow us on social media. We are active on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And Khatija, a very, very, very thank you, a big thank you to you. And we'll see you next month for part 2 of this webinar today. You can go ahead and say anything you'd like to before we sign off today.
Yeah, I'll thank you so much, Sonia, for the opportunity. I will very strongly suggest next month I am talking about the second step, which is LinkedIn content creation, and the following month I'm talking about LinkedIn networking. So if you're interested, you can see the webinar schedule at ACCESS site. And last thing I leave all the newcomers with: please don't give up, because a lot of times as newcomers we go into a lot of frustration modes that things are not working. Things will work out for you. It takes average of 4 to 6 months to get your first job, but take small steps, and I'm sure you will be there. This is your new home. Don't even let that thought come to your mind that you have to go back to your origin country. This is your new home, and if you bring that to your mindset, you will make through. So that I just want to leave an advice with.
Thank you so much. I hope everyone has a great day ahead.
Okay, bye.